You all have better understand something, people. On this channel, we got the prophet, the psychic, the preacher, and the pastor. So y'all covered. We got all four. If you don't like the pastor, maybe you'll like the preacher. If you don't like the preacher, maybe you'll like the psychic. And if you don't like the psychic, maybe you'll like the pastor. Y'all covered, people. We good on this channel. Hello everybody, this is the Magic Man, the tennis preacher, the prophet, the psychic, and y'all know the tennis pastor, coming back at you again with another video. People, I'm finna throw a nasty curveball at y'all. This is one of, you know, like those baseball pitchers, those of y'all that watch baseball or play baseball, you know those pitchers, they throw the ball, they go like this, and it breaks this way, and they swing at it and they miss it. And you know, in tennis, they have those serves, those slice serves. They used to call there used to be this serve called the American twist. It goes this way, then it goes that way, and it only goes like 30 miles per hour, but it's so nasty, it's curving, and you can't even hit that thing. I'm finna throw a curveball at all tennis fans right now. Now, people, let me say something. When I first started my channel, I used to throw curveballs all the time. And I sort of got away from that a little bit. I still throw some curves, but I used to piss off Federer fans, Nadal fans, Djokovic fans, all kind of fans, because I would say stuff that would go against their guy. Okay, now I'm finna say something now. It really shouldn't go against anybody, but you know, fans, passionate fans, they because they want their guy to be the GOAT. They don't like when you even mention that somebody else could be the GOAT, okay? I bet you somebody already know what I'm talking about. Okay, now people, listen. There is an if here, and this if could happen, high possibility. But let's say if Djokovic surpasses Nadal and Federer in majors, and let's say he stays number one for more than a year. He reaches like over 350 weeks. I think he'll stay number one for the next year. I can't see beyond a year. Maybe he can. But I say I could bet on, I would definitely bet for the next year. I mean, easily. I don't think nobody will bet against that. And so that means that Djokovic he'll be increasing his records in Master Series, in majors, and more weeks at number one, and beating top 10 players, and creating a new era, blah, 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 blah. Okay, people, let's say Djokovic does that. And let's say even Federer fans and Nadal fans, they be like, man, I can't stand that Djokovic. But, man, we got to give it to him, man. He's better. He's greater. And he's better than Nadal and Federer. Yeah. We're going to claim, the Federer fans say, yeah, we're going to still claim Federer as our GOAT, but we'll give it to you. Y'all, Djokovic is the GOAT of tennis. All right, Nadal fans going to be like, man, that Djokovic, we can't stand him, but that Djokovic is good. Now, let's say Nadal fans, they concede that. Like, let's say in 2 years, and Djokovic got like, I'm just making up some 23 majors. I'm going to make us 23 majors. Let's say Nadal got one. Let's say Federer came back and even won one. But let's say it is unanimous that nobody in the tennis world will be arguing that Djokovic is the GOAT. Let's say 2023, it is unanimous, no more debate, that Djokovic is the GOAT, at least between Nadal and Federer. Now you hear me say between. Now people, let me tell you who this is gonna bring back into the conversation. Now, he's never left my conversation of the GOAT. But most people, young people, a lot of tennis people, they don't want to hear about Rod Laver. Now, people, it was 1 week about a couple years ago. I remember I was in a park at night on the tennis court. I did like 3 or 4 videos on Rod. Is Rod Laver the GOAT? How good was Rod Laver? Go to Wikipedia, read about Rod Laver. Now, most people now listen. Some people don't want to hear about Rod Laver. And the reason why, they saying, why we need to hear about Rod Laver? He can't be any better than Federer, Djokovic, or Nadal. I get sort of that, but still, you still should go check out Rod Laver. Just because you got a tiger that's really big, like a tiger like Djokovic, Federer, and Nadal, that don't mean there's not another tiger that live 50 years ago or played 50 years ago named Rod Laver. Okay. So people, let me just tell y'all this. So let's just say this. You may say, okay, tennis problem, what are you saying? People, listen. If Djokovic does what I just said, like I said before, he just won't have more majors than Federer in Nadal. He got Federer and Nadal beat in all categories. And I told y'all last year, when I looked at went to Wikipedia, I said the only thing Djokovic needs to do really is just break this #1 thing and get more majors than Federer, because he got Federer cornered. All these, and Federer got records Nadal doesn't have, but Djokovic, he got all kind of records that Federer and Nadal together doesn't even have. You have to go to Wikipedia. Y'all just go to Wikipedia and read this stuff. It's crazy. But people, check this out though. Y'all won't believe this. But the Rod Laver, there's a few people, they call Rod Laver fans. Most of them are older because they heard their parents talk about Rod Laver. They saw Rod Laver. Okay, they probably saw Rod Laver play. And those people, they didn't live in what y'all call the prism of the moment. That means they always felt that, and I would include myself, that I could live in the prism of the moment. But basically meaning, those Rod Laver fans are saying, because Nadal and Federer are playing today, y'all don't consider Rod Laver to even be in the GOAT conversation, because y'all caught up in what y'all see today, and it shouldn't be that way. Just because Rod Laver isn't playing, that don't mean you shouldn't go to Wikipedia or go to YouTube and check this guy out just to see how good he was or how great he was. Okay, so you may say, well, okay, tennis problem, keep going. What you getting at? People, what's going to happen is this here. I just said, if Djokovic surpasses Nadal and Federer in slams, he don't have to prove anything else. He got him beat in other statistics. But there's one guy, when you go to Wikipedia, there is one person that when you read Djokovic's stats, there is one guy that can match that. Now, different era, different rackets, but we just talking about statistics and tournaments and records. And this guy, oh Lord have mercy, boy, I should be starting. I told y'all I'm throwing some nasty stuff. He's done something that Djokovic hasn't been able to do. He's won the Grand Slam. That's all 4 in 1 year. He did it twice. Now, I know what somebody gonna say. Somebody gonna say, well, you know, he won the first one. Rod Laver won the first Grand Slam, all 4 in 1 year, in 1962, I believe. Yeah, I'm trying to keep the stats right. So the courts, the surfaces were a little different the way it looked. Like if you looked at it in the film, so people say, well, that was old. If they modernized the stuff, he wasn't wearing this. So in 1969, people, they made everything more modern. They made the pros and the amateurs play together. The draws was 120, something like it is now. And if you go to 1969, people, and look at all the surfaces, they look sort of the way they look today. So, and Rod Laver still won the Grand Slam. You know what, people? You know when somebody's great. They did that with Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods was so great back in his peak. They changed the courses, he still won. You said it, Rod Laver is that way. You change the courts, he'll still win the Grand Slam. You change this, he'll still win the Grand Slam. Put the courts over in a different country, he'll still win the Grand Slam. So people, only thing I'm going to say now, let me get back to the point. As Djokovic continued to get greater and greater, and people be like, whoa, Federer and Nadal can't mess with Djokovic, then more people going to go to Wikipedia and read what everybody know, and the Djokovic fans know, that Djokovic got records that Federer and Nadal can't even touch. I'm telling y'all. I mean, just I'm not talking about the head-to-head. The head-to-head don't necessarily make you the GOAT. I mean, that says something, though, especially if you got a head-to-head against both of the 2 greatest players, okay? Or that 2 of the players that's considered to be top 3 greatest, okay? Okay? Now, but yeah, people, just the fact that even if, let's say Djokovic did what I said, and he becomes the official GOAT, and then somebody even brings up Rod Laver's name, that could Rod Laver be greater than Djokovic, or as great or greater? That in itself tells y'all how great Rod Laver is. And it tells you he's been disrespected. People, go to this is what I want everybody to do before you jump in the comment section. Now I know a lot of you, now if you already know about Rod Laver, jump in the comment section and you can oppose what I'm saying, or you can say tennis profit. We don't want to hear nothing about no Rod Laver. But if you don't know anything about Rod Laver, go to Wikipedia. You're gonna see people he got, and people, you know what? Not just that winning the Grand Slam twice. That ain't the only thing he got that Djokovic doesn't have. Rod Laver got a lot of other stats that Djokovic doesn't have. Okay? I'm just told y'all I was gonna be nasty. Y'all thought, boy, I'm telling y'all that's a nasty curveball. See, people, you know when I started my channel, I started my channel for 3 reasons. One reason is I wanted to give my opinion, okay? My personal opinion about what I thought about tennis. Another reason is I wanted to give an in-depth view of tennis that you may not hear from other channels, not just statistics and stuff. And I think I've achieved that, okay? And another thing, man, I like to throw those curves. I like to throw topics that other people don't talk about or want to talk about. But people, I'm just saying, as the greater Djokovic people think, you would think Djokovic's going to leave everybody. What he's going to do, he's going to resurrect the Rod Laver ghost. Those Rod Laver fans, as Djokovic fans start talking about how great Djokovic is, and Djokovic got this record, the Rod Laver fans going to come out of the woodworks and say, look at Wikipedia, go read it. We Rod Laver fans, we got statistics that even Djokovic doesn't have. And one is that Grand Slam, but even more than that, people, okay? I just want to throw that out, all right? Tennis preacher, the tennis prophet, and the tennis psychic. Have a good one. You all have better understand something about this channel, people. Y'all lucky. Y'all got all 4. 4-1, 1-4 on this channel, people. Y'all got the prophet, tennis prophet. You got the psychic, tennis psychic. You got the preacher, tennis preacher, and you got the prophet, tennis prophet. And for example, if you don't like the prophet, tennis prophet, maybe you would like the tennis psychic. If you don't like the analysis of the tennis psychic, maybe you would like the analysis of the tennis preacher. And if you don't like the analysis of the tennis preacher, maybe you like the analysis of the tennis prophet. I'm telling y'all, people, y'all good on this channel. We good. We got it covered in all ways. All right, people, tennis preacher, prophet, psychic. Sign it off. Have a good one.